video. This is my first build guide. Excited to get into this build. This is a Venom Crazed DPS build. Let's jump into it.
Just a quick question. What's with the frickin' shark?
So we'll go over the gear, and then we'll go over the bonuses, and then we'll go over the talents. In the Firearm 1 slot, we have the Ringleader, a Bane's Wrath Tier 2 weapon. I do not have this weapon elited yet, however I do intend to elite it and roll it. Firearm 2 isn't as important as Firearm 1 due to the 3-piece bonus given by the Ringleader. However, Firearm 2 is utilized to increase my shield recharge, either by the shield regenerated on critical hits mod or by shield harvest. The melee weapon is Two Faces Persuader with a Venom Frenzy Affliction. It is rolled for Suicide Strike, resource generation, and damage on crazed enemies, since most enemies will be crazed for the majority of your gameplay. The grenade is not completely rolled yet due to lack of materials. However, what is important about it is the piece bonus and having Venom Frenzy on the grenade. You want to be able to apply as much Venom Frenzy as possible in order to keep your buffs going at maximum. The shield slot is pretty basic. It is just rolled for damage reduction, suicide strike, resource generation, and damage while shield at 100%, which you would typically want to keep at 100% through shield harvesting. Now, while your shield is overcharged, critical hits will generate 20% traversal attack resource, which you're going to use for extra damage. So for the traversal mod, we're using the Poison Ivy set, modded to increase damage through our traversal attack on crazed enemies, and to increase the amount of damage done in general with our traversal attack. The Neck Bomb mod is rolled to increase our damage to crazed enemies as well, and also increased our shield harvest chance so that we can keep our shield at full more often. The resistance to freeze is up to you. You can put whatever you'd like in the green slot. It doesn't really make a difference. The most important parts are the blue, purple, and the 3-piece bonus. Lastly, the Lucky Charm is going to be the Poison Ivy set piece. It is rolled for increased critical hit chance while your shield is overcharged, increased suicide strike, resource generation, and ammo from critical hits is more up to you, although that is a fairly useful trait, I would say. So, on to the set bonuses. The 1-piece bonus of the Bane set increases craze duration by 10 seconds, and enemies you craze now deal 20% more damage for each 1% health they are missing. So this can increase their damage output significantly if you do not kill them quickly. This also slowly builds up craze while dealing damage. I'm going to be honest, I do not fully understand this mechanic as far as the building up craze is concerned. If anyone in the comments knows, feel free to comment and explain it to me. I would appreciate it. Moving on. You deal 1% more damage to an enemy for each 1% of their health that is missing. This is self-explanatory. The more damage they are, the more damage they take. Number 3. When you kill a crazed enemy, or an enemy you crazed kills another enemy, you trigger a stack of Bane's Wrath. So, if you kill a crazed enemy, or if you make one go crazy and they shoot somebody and kill them, you get a stack. This stack will last for 60 seconds and increases the damage you deal by 50%, up to a maximum of 750%. There is a 50% chance to trigger a Bane's Wrath stack when you craze an enemy that is below 100% health. So what this means is that for every stack of Bane's Wrath that lasts for 60 seconds, it will increase your damage by 50%. Up to a maximum of 750%, which is 15 stacks. So if you can manage to craze and kill 15 enemies within 60 seconds, your damage is increased by 750%. The set bonus we get from the Poison Ivy set is 50% increased damage dealt to afflicted enemies, which crazing them is an affliction. So with the second piece bonus, you get critical hits have a stacking 5% chance to afflict the enemy hit with a random affliction. Afflicting enemies hurts them for 25% of their maximum health. We use this so that when we craze enemies, they instantly take 25% of their maximum health as damage. Now, unfortunately, the critical hit having a 5% chance to cause a random affliction can technically remove our craze, but this is not too problematic due to the amount of craze we put out, it can be overwritten fairly easily. Last but not least, utilizing the notorious weapon from the villain Two-Face alongside the Bane set synergizes in a way that gives us the ability, when harvesting enemies, we now have a 100% chance to drop grenade ammo, and doing so also increases our grenade damage by 100% for 20 seconds. So on to the talents. The first thing we'll go over is the fire power tree. Obviously in tier 1, Shark Rage. Tier 2, I've chosen Firearm Aptitude just to give a base damage increase to all weapons that I use. I mainly use firearms damage for this build on top of grenades to craze, but your main source of damage is going to be your guns. So for tier 3, we have Beachhead Battler. At 10 times combo and higher, critical hit chance with assault rifles is increased by 20% on enemies within 20 meters. Unyielding Hunger increases our firearm damage for the active magazine after getting a shield harvest kill, which you should be doing as often as possible in order to keep your shield up. Tier 5 is Ferocious Jaws, a basic critical chance increase. Tier 6, Renewing Blitz, no other options. Tier 7, Tidal Pool, which will increase your damage for each enemy within 20 meters around you up to 50%. So if you have 5 guys around you, you get 50% more damage. Tier 8, no other choices but Blood in the Water. Tier 9, I've chosen Vicious Appetite to increase the shield harvest chance instead of increasing my damage reduction for sustained firearm damage due to the fact that I won't be as sustained since we aren't using an LMG. So the increased shield harvest chance is going to give us some more shield sustain. So for tier 10, we have Shark Rage. At 40 times combo and higher, it'll increase your damage dealt by 75% and increase your Suicide Strike buildup rate by 50%. An option you could choose if you feel a little squishy is Unending Fury, which will increase your damage reduction by 20% and increase your critical hit chance by 50%, but I chose this for a more damage-friendly option. On to Strength and Dominance. So for tier 1, I've chosen Ocean Blessing. The melee damage isn't mainly the point of this choice, however, the shield harvest chance is what I have chosen here. Suicide Strike and Powerful Strikes are unavoidable. For tier 4, we have Oceanic Defense, a 10 times combo and higher ability that increases our shield capacity by 20%. This will give us a little bit more buffer room before our health gets affected while we're using our shield harvest ability. Tier 5, we have Ocean's Reach, increasing the range of our Domineering Presence by 10 meters to a total of 30 meters. Top of the food chain is unavoidable, so tier 6, top of the food chain. Tier 7, Shark Tank. At 20 times combo and higher, shield pickup is increased by 20%, and shield harvest chance increased by 10%. This will give us a little bit more longevity on the field as we're running around doing our shark thing. Tier 8, Blood Dominion, at 30 times combo and higher, performing a Suicide Strike generates 5 combo. This will help keep your combo up and avoid issues from combo breakers and the like. Tier 9, Suicide Strike damage is increased by 50%. This is a choice that I have picked due to the fact that we will be using our Suicide Strike as often as possible. A little extra damage there doesn't hurt since it does lock you up on a single target for a considerable amount of time. Tier 10, Powerful Strikes, transforms Domineering Presence into Powerful Strikes, requiring a 50x combo, increasing your melee damage by 150% and your firearm damage by 20% to enemies within the range of Domineering Presence. An alternative to this is Endless Rain. When at max combo, your melee hits will generate 15% Suicide Strike resource. This is a toss-up for me at the moment, so I'll leave that up to you. Future iterations of this build may include Endless Rain. Now the last sector of the tree, Power of the Ancients. Obviously tier 1, we're going with Nervous System. On tier 2, I went with the damage option over the mobility option, and I increased the damage while airborne by 20% with Jump the Shark. Tier 3 is Land Shark, unavoidable choice. Tier 4, I've chosen Crashing Drop to increase the area of effect of Atlantean Drop by 25%. Tier 5, Streamline. Each aerial dash increases the damage of your Atlantean Drop traversal attack by 25% up to a maximum of 75% until you touch the ground. So with this trait, you will want to dash 3 times before dropping for maximum effect. If you do not feel like doing this, you could increase your build-up rate of Atlantean drop traversal attack by 25% with the depth recharge choice. Tier 6, drop and destroy, an unavoidable choice. For Tier 7, I've chosen Critical Drop, where at 20 times combo and higher, enemy kills while airborne generate 15% Suicide Strike resource. This is to increase the rate of which we can use our Suicide Strike and get shield in emergencies or do massive damage to a single target. Tiers 8 and 9 are unavoidable choices. Tier 10, we have Ultimate Shark Strikes, which gives you a free Suicide Strike when the squad ultimate is activated. In addition, Suicide Strike damage is increased by 100% while the squad ultimate is active. So what we have here is some gameplay footage that we will use to showcase a few of the build's points and one of the major downsides that you will run across when running this build.
I love this part!
So in this clip, you're going to see me melee an enemy, which will cause him to drop a grenade, doing massive damage to all of the afflicted enemies in the area. This showcases a error and correction on the Atlantean traversal to get the 3 movement stacks before dropping for maximum damage. This is the more optimal method, where dropping an affliction before the 3 charge and drop allows you to do the maximum damage quickly. Now this clip showcases the mobility of the build, where you want to try to stay in the air while you're doing damage and keep yourself airborne to keep your maximum damage output going. Now I'm not afflicting as well as I should be here, but add in affliction and that's pretty much the gist of what you're after. As for the downsides, when they are crazed and they have low health, this is possible. One-shotting from big boys. Thanks for watching.